just being treated like a suspected thief, even when you haven't stolen anything in your entire life, it's actually dehumanizing. The Post-Millennial reports Target is scaling back its use of self-checkout kiosks across its nearly 2,000 U.S. stores, reversing a previous strategy due to rising concerns over theft. The company had announced plans last March to expand self-checkout across all locations. However, it's since quietly removed kiosks from certain stores, shutting them down in others, or imposing strict item limits, such as capping self-checkout use to 10 items or less. And this is happening. Of course, we've seen stories like this in many other stores where they're moving away from the self-checkout because of all the theft, because people are, it's easier for people to steal. And this is the good news, I guess, that comes from living in a low-trust society filled with thieves and crooks. The good news is that it saves thousands of cashiers from losing their jobs. That's one thing. And this is a story that jumped out at me because I just had an experience at a self-checkout lane, not at Target, because I don't go to Target. For me, by the way, the Target boycott is still going and is permanent. I haven't been to a Target in 2 years, and I'll never go back. But this was at Kroger, and I used the self-checkout, scanned all my stuff, because I'm a hypocrite. I don't like I oppose self-checkout in principle because I don't like that it takes jobs away, and I don't like that it's just more of an excuse for people to be antisocial. But at the same time, I am antisocial, so if you give me the option, I will take it. But I don't think I should have. If you give me the option, I'll take it, but you probably shouldn't. So anyway, but I'm at the self-checkout line, and I was about to pay, and then the light flashes, right? And it says on the screen that an associate has to come over. And so this girl came over, and I hadn't seen this before. I don't know, maybe this has been happening for years. It's the first time I'd seen it, where the associate came over. It played a video on the screen, like a video replay of me scanning the items. It was like a little 10-second replay. And I guess because I moved a certain way that triggered the security sensor and made it seem like I might have put something in the bag without scanning it. Now, that was not the case, for the record. I was not actually stealing anything, but it just, it tripped the thing. And so the girl had to come over, and together we watched the replay to see if I stole something. And I watched it too, a little bit nervous because, I'm like, did I put something in the thing by accident without scanning it? And then I thought, how am I going to explain this? Turns out I was good. I didn't steal. The whole thing was like, it was like a 30-second ordeal with her just watching the thing. She doesn't care anyway. And then she, scans the badge and we're fine. But even so, it's weird. And it's kind of embarrassing. It's embarrassing that I've got to check. I'm sitting there being checked to make sure I didn't steal anything. And I just thought, this is how we all have to be treated now. We all have to be treated this way. They've got the shampoo locked up behind glass. That was in the same shopping experience. And of course, many of us have been through this exact same thing. We needed more shampoo. And I go to the shampoo, it's a lock behind glass. So I just said, okay, well, never mind. I guess we're not getting shampoo. We're going to have dirty hair, I guess, because I refuse to do it. I'm not going to call someone over to unlock the shampoo for me. It's humiliating. And then I go to the self-checkout lane, and someone has to come over and check the replay monitor, like an NFL referee. And the whole experience is, it's actually dehumanizing. And just being treated like a suspected thief, even when you haven't stolen anything in your entire life, it's actually dehumanizing. And it's something that, we're all used to it. We're all treated like suspected thieves, even though most of us have never stolen anything. And even though most of us are not in the category that you have to worry about us stealing. And that does matter because the data on who does most of the shoplifting and who does what kind of shoplifting is well established. But stores aren't really allowed to take any of that into account officially. They're not allowed to know what the data says and act on it, so we all get kind of lumped in. As a 38-year-old dad at the grocery store with my kids, the chance that I steal anything is basically zero. I mean, it's the same thing when going through an airport. When they randomly flag certain people, even though there are wide demographic swaths that have literally never committed any kind of terrorist attack on a plane. It's a very small demographic group that does all of the plane terrorism. I mean, 100% of it. And, of course, we're talking about Middle Eastern men. They do like all of it. There's essentially zero chance that the white middle-aged woman with leggings at the airport is going to blow up the plane. Or the black middle-aged woman with leggings at the airport. And even the leggings probably aren't that important, but it's zero chance. Or me and my flannel, going through airport on the way to vacation. No chance that I'm going to be blowing up a plane. No one thinks that. There's zero chance of it. 0.0% chance. And, but we all have to be treated this way. There is a greater chance that, and I got randomly flagged at the airport recently too. I mean, this goes to travel all the time. It happens every once in a while. And once again, the inconvenience is small, but it's the principle of it. Why am I getting pulled aside so you can check me? There's a greater chance that I'm selected as the next pope than that I'm going to blow up a plane. Okay, there's a much greater chance actually, and the chance of that is also zero. But we have to do this whole kabuki theater where we pretend that that the risk level is the same for everybody. And so if you have a man of Middle Eastern descent going through the from Saudi Arabia or something, going through airport security, and you've got a 45-year-old white woman with 3 kids, we have to pretend that, I don't know, it could be either one of them. There's an equal chance that one of them could, there's no way to know. There's no way, we have no way. We can only randomly do additional screening because the chances are the same for both of them. And no one really believes that. But it's much worse in places like grocery stores, and the cultural effect is much worse, I think, because it's just, at least an airport is a place that most people don't go every day or every week. Grocery stores, we're all there all the time, and for us all to be treated like thieves as soon as we walk in the door is bad. As a middle-aged dad, you could just leave me alone and forget about me. I'm in the category where, and this happened once a few years ago, even if I do leave with something not being scanned accidentally, I will drive back to the store and pay for it, okay? That happened to me a few years ago, and it wasn't a self-checkout. I go through it was a cashier that made the mistake of not scanning, like coffee filters or something, and I get home, I check the receipt, because that's the other thing, of course, you always check the receipt. And I noticed that thing had not been scanned. It wasn't on the receipt. I drove back to the freaking store to pay the $5 for the coffee filters. Not some great heroic act. It's just like sort of typical middle-aged dad behavior. It's the same thing my dad would have done. But everyone's treated like a thief. And by the way, the number one predictor for shoplifting is age. Right, that is, statistically, that's what the data says. That's the number one predictor. The peak age for shoplifting is between 15 and 25. Like 75% of the shoplifting is done by people under the age of 35. Almost half of it is done by people under the age of 25. And when it comes to small personal items, the stuff that you would find in the toiletry aisle, when you go to the toiletry aisle and shampoo or cosmetics are locked behind glass, that's like mostly young women that are stealing almost all that stuff. A young man, if an expensive drill goes missing at Home Depot, there's a much greater chance that a man steals it. Young men tend to steal high ticket items. But the smaller stuff, the stuff you find at a grocery store, it's mostly women. But this is the way it goes. This is the consequence of living in a low trust society. And there's no way around it really for the stores. There's no way to do it other than to lock everything behind glass and do the video replays, get rid of the self-checkouts, have somebody checking the receipts at the exit, and because we live in a low-trust society. And none of this, in most places in America, none of this existed even like 20 years ago. Many of us have been going to grocery stores our entire lives, and unless you lived in the middle of the city, you never saw anything locked behind glass. And now in a lot of these places, it's It's a normal part of the experience. If you'd like to see what else I have to say, you can access my full show by going to dailywire.com or by going to the Matt Walsh Show Twitter page. Hope to see you there. Godspeed.